Hey guys, I want to give a quick introduction to myself and the channel, just kind of get things started in the right way in this low budget, low production quality video here. I hope to improve that over time, but you got to start somewhere. So, my name is Trevor. I'm from the United States. I was born in Seattle in the 80s, and I grew up in the area. Great time to be around. Really fun area. Great people. Learned a lot, and then I met a girl in the early 2000s, and ended up moving to Japan, where I've been since basically the end of 2007, like the last 2 weeks of 2007. And that was a massive change. I came over here, this was pre-iPhone. Something about the iPhone just kind of changed everything. But so I came here and it was just like Japan, you know. At the time, my computer literacy, basically I could touch type and send emails and work with PowerPoint a little bit, if I remember, something like that. So naturally, I started a life over here because I gotten married. So I was pretty focused on the immediate area and immediate opportunities, and for the vast majority of native English speaking foreigners, that boils down to teaching English. And kind of got absorbed with that. Spent the first few years really just getting used to Japan and meeting people, making friends, having fun, running around. And then I decided to finish my degree, which is something I hadn't done. I had like two more years. We all know how expensive education in the U.S. is. So I got into a certain point and thought, like, I don't know what to do here. I really don't want any more debt. So I finished paying off my first round of student loans, and then I applied and was accepted to an online school and finished my bachelor's degree. And I had this idea that I was going to go hardcore into education in Japan. And I worked for a few different Japanese companies, but I found them just really unpleasant. I didn't like the atmosphere. I didn't like the level of formality and how kind of suppressed everyone had to be, and how controlling they were. It's something a lot of foreigners run into. So I decided to start my own English school, and that was 6 years ago, actually, from today. It was September 18th of 2014. Which I thought was a real good idea at the time. I worked like crazy at my full-time job and picked up a part-time job on the weekends, saved a bunch of money, applied for a business grant, got accepted, and ended up sinking about $25,000 into a little English school in my neighborhood. And that covered all of the remodel and teaching supplies and furniture and computer and whatnot. That was all I really knew. It was like, okay, I'm gonna start a business, and I did. It was hard in the beginning. I had to keep my part-time job and build up student numbers and stuff, and I also had to learn Japanese well enough beforehand to be able to do that, which was a lot of work. And then slowly, once things started rolling, I found myself sitting in front of the computer a lot, and with a lot more time I could use for myself. I wouldn't call it free time because I was always working on something, but I get, okay, you know what I mean. It's like you have time and you're at work, you kind of have to like look busy, or you have time in your own business and you don't have to do that. It was kind of like that. I had to be on point for customers and stuff, but I didn't have to live in a world of perpetual BS, you might say. Let this truck go by. I'm right on the road here, so it's a little bit rainy out. Where was I? Okay, so eventually I came into software development, and that was kind of through a series of events. I started playing with WordPress at that time. That was like late 2017. I built my first WordPress site, and didn't want to touch HTML or CSS. I had no idea, and I didn't understand how WordPress worked. I didn't understand what a CMS was at that time, and it's kind of a hybrid. It does a lot of stuff behind the scenes for you. It organizes files and stuff, but that was a long time ago anyways, but it did kind of turn me on to web development, like being able to build a site and put content up and connect it to a domain, and have, be able to see it on your phone or tell your friends about it. It was pretty cool. But that was the beginning. I really got deeper and deeper into it. I started off with, what was it, Divi Builder, which I don't recommend. I mean, if you're a real developer, you should be able to build any kind of front end you want. But it was a good introductory tool. I built a few websites with that, and that got me more comfortable with mostly CSS really, and front end design, like how to recreate things you see out there. And then I took a Udemy course on WordPress. I thought that would be the next good step. I forget the name of it now. It's basically like a professional WordPress developer course. I think it was Brad Schiff or somebody. The dude breaks things down like unbelievably. It's good on one hand, but on the other, like you don't know where you are or what's happening. It's so detailed. So I was getting into that, working with PHP and conditional logic, and are you logged in, are you logged out, what date is it, what blog post to show based on the date, and all of that. But I still felt like, I don't know, it's kind of weird to figure out. And again, I didn't understand all of like the specialized WordPress functions and how those are different from just normal PHP. So eventually I flew the nest and just decided, all right, I'm gonna find somebody out there who's giving a good course on this, not WordPress, but just straight software development. And I was lucky, fortuitous, you might even say, that I came across a mentor on YouTube who was offering personal consultation, which I thought really stood out given today's environment of, buy my course and whatever. So I started working with him, and slowly over time kind of worked up an understanding and just stuck with it. And long story short, I have been given an offer by a company to continue working remotely from Japan for mostly American students. And there's one or two in the UK, I believe. But basically, what I'll be doing is what my mentor did, and that's helping students learn software development. So it's a really exciting opportunity for me. I've invested a lot of time here in Japan, coming up on 13 years, and on the one hand it's been a good experience, but sometimes it's really helpful in life to know like when your stop is, when do you get off the train, because as time passes and you get older, the I don't want to say margin for error, it's more like the array of opportunities in your life gets more narrow, and they also get fewer and farther between. So I've got 3 kids and a business. I live like 5,000 miles from the nearest continental U.S. city. I live in the countryside. I'm pretty much nailed to the floor here. So I'm really excited about this next opportunity to really start bringing value to people and really start increasing my own skill set, because I'm going to be working with code all the time, which is really what I need. I'm at the point now where it's like that's almost all I think about. But now I've gotten this amazing opportunity to make a living without really upsetting my family's lifestyle too much. The only obstacle right now is getting out of this school. So this is where I am right now. But my new company has been, very, very gracious. They're saying, look, we're going to let you ease into it. We want you. We like you. So I have a window of about 6 weeks to 2 months to decide on a starting date and sell my school. That's my plan. I really want to sell it to someone who cares about teaching people and understands the industry. It's really not for me anymore. I mean, it was cool when I started, but now it's getting to the point like I just don't really respect myself. I guess, it's cool that I started a business and did well in that, but it's very, very hard to scale by yourself, sorry. And the nature of the work really doesn't change. And after 13 years of that, I kind of want a little more of a challenge in my life, a little more opportunity. So that's me. So the real purpose of this channel is not to talk about my own history so much as it is to kind of share elements and realizations and recommendations that I've formulated over the course of my own journey. And then, based on that, so just answer people's questions and kind of offer encouragement to you, because it's an amazing art, it's an amazing craft, software development. But there is a barrier to entry, given that it's just so weird to work with at first and so unforgiving. But I've managed to do it, and I feel like if you're out there and you're considering it, or maybe you absolutely know you want to do it. There's a big difference between those two, by the way. I would really like to just kind of be, a voice of reason and kind of an example of someone who could get into the industry despite having all these crazy obstacles, like where I live and my schedule and the time differences and so many things. So it's really just about continuing to move forward, continuing to study, continuing to figure stuff out, and sticking with it. So I'll stop the video there. And if you like what you've seen so far, feel free to ask a question. Leave a comment and say hi. Nothing rude. I don't really do that online. I think it's kind of silly, and you should be ashamed of yourself. But yeah. So from here on out, I'll try to post 1 to 2 videos a week, maybe more, especially if people ask questions. So thanks for watching.